Welcome, Panthers. I'm Hannah Blatt.
And I'm Connor Anthony. In today's broadcast, we will take a look at Mehlville's #1 fan, a group of student athletes who are active on and off the field, and a hobby that some students share during their lunch period.
And this is Mehlville Today. Miranda and I take you to the stands. Here's an insight on Mehlville's #1 fan.
The first game I attended was in 1973. I've been a Mehlville fan for 33 years.
I met Tim, aka Ozzy, when I moved to St. Louis. He was just this really loud cheerleader in the stands, you know, one of the great big fans that we had.
Mehlville, District Panthers! Mehlville! District Panthers! Mehlville! District green, District white, green, white, green, white! I say go! You say get him! Go! Get him! Go! Get him!
For Timothy Osborne, Mehlville High School was a place to call home, but the reality was that he was living on the streets of St. Louis, Missouri.
I was homeless for 12 years. Lost my job, lost my apartment, and things got kind of rough. And
it's been about 6-7 years now. We found out that Tim had become homeless. Some people were looking for him. It was one of those, hey, whatever happened to? Because you didn't see him at the games anymore and nobody really understood what was going on.
On August 1st of 2009, to try to help me. So he called a friend of mine named Ken Stevenson. Ken came down. He gave me like 2 options. He said, you can be on the street if you want, but he said, if you want to come back with me, I'll give you a place to live. I took Ken's offer and went back with him. I stayed at his place for 6 months. Then I moved into Sylvan House February 13th of 2010. Here is called Down by the River, but I want everybody to know that this is my cheer. I'm the one that developed Down by the River! Down by the River! We took a little walk! We took a little walk! We ran into some pirates! We ran into some pirates!
Always had a special place in our hearts. He has always been Mehlville's #1 fan. He never missed a Mehlville sporting event, still doesn't miss Mehlville sporting events. Tim, I miss you, buddy. Hope you're doing well.
From the stands to the shelves, Emma and Amila have the story on Band Book Week.
We wanted to call attention to a national celebration, if you will, of banned books or challenge books. They're not always banned. And this protects our First Amendment right. It was originally started as a national drive in 1982.
Most of your challenges begin with parent groups, but they'll usually take those to boards of education. So it's usually, you know, parents that have concern for their kids, and absolutely, we as parents should, you know, be looking out for what our kids are reading, watching, and that's excellent that parents are involved in what their kids read.
I've had parents who've had concerns, and we respect those parents, and we offer alternative assignments. Because they have their freedom of choice. I'm not a big fan of censorship, and I feel like the books that we do offer here at Mehlville High School have an educational value, and that sometimes the things that we read aren't always pretty or nice, but they happened, and so to learn from things, we have to read about them.
I adore literature. I think it takes you to places you've never been. It makes you become involved in relationships that you've never had. And so the thought of not being able to read something that can take you into those places or involve you with those relationships is just disheartening to me. And so some of the books that just were on the list that we looked at here at Mehlville are some of my favorite books and changed my perspective on a lot of literature. And so to think that I could not have had access to those books had they been banned really bums me out. And so I really wanted to be a part of that, because I understand that people have opinions about books, but it's sad to think that people wanted to take those abilities, or that reading ability, away from everybody, and to take those books out of people's hands just really kind of disgusts me. I think you'd be shocked by some of the books, because there are a lot of books that kids have not only read in elementary schools, but in middle schools and high schools. So some of the books I think that would be popular for kids to know, they had the Harry Potters are on there because of the whole idea of witchcraft. To Kill a Mockingbird, but that's on there because of language. Like Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry is on there. The Kite Runner, 13 Reasons. Anne Frank, for just being too darn depressing. So I think it's just shocking. The list goes on and on, but last year alone 311 books were challenged across the world. So it's not something that's just, oh, it's an old thing, people don't do that anymore. No, it still goes on, and it's still really current.
We are a free society, and that we should be able to read what we want and make our own decisions. And I am glad that even though there are lots of books that are challenged, they're not put on the banned book list, because we should be able to make those choices. It's America.
Many students are involved in clubs here at Mehlville.
A group of student athletes have a meeting to share their faith with one another.
People walk by this classroom every day and see this Miss Miller's math class. What they don't know is FCA meets here after school every other Thursday to talk about their faith on and off the field.
FCA stands for Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and what it is about is connecting how you play sports with your faith.
Pretty much do meetings that show us how we can represent God on the field and off the field, and knowing that through Him we can do anything.
Inspires me to put more faith in God when I'm on that field, and it kind of relaxes me because I know I can only do so much before it's put in God's hands.
Hits on 3, 1, 2, 3, hit!
You can work out into sports by, just being sportsmanlike, not really bragging about winning or anything.
It's just the joy and blessing to see everybody coming out and knowing that I'm making a difference through our school, sharing the gospel and the word of God to fellow students, trying to encourage all the members who are currently in FCA to grab some of their friends and try and talk to some people that I feel like could really benefit from FCA. Just come out and tell them I think this would be a really good idea for you to try out, and see if they would come out and join.
Do you miss recess?
We think some students might.
Let's take a look.
Well, the way it started was one day one of our friends brought in a really not that great hacky sack into lunch, and he said, "Hey guys, let's see what we can do with it." So then we all started got in a circle in the outside the commons by the stairwell one, and we all just started in a circle, and we just kicked the ball, a hacky sack around, and it just grew from there until every single lunch, every single day, at least one person has a hacky sack. And it's like a bonding exercise, I guess. It's a lot of fun. It's just something for us to do. It's a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun, throughout the year, getting a lot better. We've all got different hacky sacks. We've upgraded a little bit. We're to the point where we can keep the ball in the air, for a pretty substantial amount of time. Me, Dan Gollett, Brandon Wernick, we're really the three major people that were the cornerstone for our, hacky sack club thing. And it's a lot of fun playing, getting better at something that's, interesting.
Hacky rules!
Now Jacob and Leah introduce us to a new challenge.
Here's Mehlville versus food.
Welcome to our new segment of Mehlville versus Food, starring
Trey Schroeder, Eddie Gruchowski, and Jacob Boonhall.
In our first edition, we will be taking on a local food challenge. See you in our next location.
Well, you probably figured it out already, but we're at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we're doing the Blazing Wing Challenge. And I'm here with my bud Trayton and Eddie. Say hello, Ed.
What's up?
What up? Okay, so the rules are simple. You have to finish all the wings. You can't use any forks or knives. No napkins. You boys ready for this? Ready. You ready, Trayton?
I was born ready.
Any last words?
I love you, Mom.
Good luck, Trayton. Good luck, Jacob.
Good luck. Let's go, boys. Eddie, how you holding up?
Dude, look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Let's go.
Sam, how many you got to go, Eddie?
I think 6.
Yeah, I got 5.
I don't know. I can't see out of my eyes.
I can't either. Drink the water. Drink it.
You drink it.
I'm not.
Only quitters drink water.
Oh my God.
Look at that. Look how fat that is.
Is that sweat?
Look, there's sweat coming down my face.
That's not sweat.
No,
that's
that was
tears.
a tear. I sweated less in gym class this morning. I win, I think.
That's not a sweet victory.
Some say I'm a winner. Personally, I feel like I lost. Any last words, Eddie?
I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that.
Trayton?
Stay in school.